Welcome to LoyalTV. Join us in Muskogee, Oklahoma, where a singing dentist helped to soothe the aches of pioneer life.
Dr. Albert Bonnell was Indian Territory's first dentist. He came to Muskogee in 1888. He had heard that Muskogee was a progressive town, capital of Indian Territory. He thought it'd be a good place to set up a practice. Prior to his coming, Indian Territory folks didn't have a dentist. If they had a problem with a tooth, they probably just had to have it pulled, unless they wanted to travel out of the territory to go find a doctor. So it was a great relief and a great comfort when he arrived in Muskogee and opened an office on Main Street. Muskogee was considered the unofficial capital of Indian Territory. It was where the federal government had placed all of their offices, the Union Agency, the federal court, the marshals. The railroad came through here, and very few towns at that time in 1888 had railroad service. So it was accessible, which made it a very smart place to put a dentist's office. He quickly got involved with his new community, got involved with the Methodist congregation here in town. They met in an old church called the Rock Church because it was made of rock, and quickly became involved with the choir there because his first love was not dentistry, it was music. We are in the sanctuary of First United Methodist Church in Muskogee. This church succeeded the Rock Church. After it burned down in 1903, they built a new congregation and a new sanctuary, and that's where we're located now. A few years later, another individual arrived in Muskogee. Her name was Bessie Weir. She had been hired as a music teacher for Harrell Institute, which was run by the Methodist congregation. So they shared a love of music and both sang in the choir. And that, of course, brought them together, and they were married in 1896. Dr. Bonnell quickly became famous for his gifted music. He was a musician as well as a soloist in the choir, and he also frequently was asked to solo for funerals. And this he took it upon himself to do, whether it meant closing his office. He probably sang at over 2,000 funerals during his life here in Muskogee. So he provided comfort not just for those with a toothache, but those with the sorrow of bereavement. He was very much a civic-minded individual. He served for 6 years on the Muskogee City Council, 10 years on the school board, and 36 years as Sunday school superintendent for the Methodist Church, and 50 years singing in the choir. I think they should know him as a man of compassion. He was definitely someone who cared very much about people, not just tending to their physical needs, but also to spiritual needs as well. And I think we can take great pride in that because that really embodies the spirit of what Oklahomans are, people who care.
Join us next week for more of the best Oklahoma stories you've never heard, here on LoyalTV.